So I think this is really very valuable. A lot of people are going through the same situation you're going through. Um, a lot of boards, a lot of organizations, the board are not fully engaged. Board members are not as active as they should to be able to lead the organization, just as I've explained earlier, right? So what then is the solution to this situation? First, it's let's understand the challenge. Let's understand the situation itself. Why are board members not engaged? At the beginning, they sounded passionate. They wanted to support. They wanted to give you their all. And all of a sudden, they are nowhere to be found. Why? The truth is, one, they didn't pass through the actual board recruitment process. The actual board recruitment process ensures the commitment of its board members, one. And then two, there's no standard engagement process in place to ensure that, these board members are committed and are active. I will explain. First, the recruitment process, right? There's a standard recruitment process where a board member goes through an interview, an onboarding session, background check, they sign agreements, and then they're introduced to the old board members. They plan together before they start to execute. That's like the actual board recruitment process. But the process a lot of board members go through is they just find somebody they like, find out somebody who's committed, and then they just bring them into the board and they have these meetings or they incorporate their names with the organization and then they are board members. So that process, of course, is not going to ensure the commitment of these people you bring in. And then secondly, when you bring in them, there has to be a process that ensures their commitment and accountability. So after the board recruitment process, there's what we call strategic planning. It's like blending of board members, right? That point where they share ideas, they try to mold the organization, the future of the organization by sharing ideas, criticizing the programs, sharing ideas on how to raise money. It's like a blending process across the board where board members now get to know each other, they know what they are capable of, right? That process helps in commitment because according to the saying in community development, boards that plan together, people that plan together, execute together. So you just bringing them in and then throwing a plan at them and saying, let's go. It's of course not going to get them committed. But you saying, come, let's plan together. Let's build the future of this organization together. And then you go on to execute is what's going to ensure their commitment when you start to execute. And then accountability. Accountability and engagement to ensure commitment is basically all about how you put out these committees, right? That one, drive the different parts of your organization. So within these committees, these board members are engaged with activities. For example, one of the key four areas we identified for your organization, say expansion from New Jersey to or from Jersey to the US, right? A board member within that committee could be given an assignment. It could be to find volunteers that could help your expansion, draw up the standard operating process that could enable your expansion. Within those committees, they are engaged with activities that keep them committed to the organization, right? And then another advantage is after strategic planning, it's not just inaugurating committees they're a part of, you also delegate responsibilities to them. So it could be you're the PRO of the board, you're the person who is in charge of our partnership, you're the person who is in charge of our programs, so that you have people who can report to the board in these different areas. So these processes keep board members engaged, right? Now, lastly, there's the accountability process. Within the committees, there's the follow-up that says, at the beginning of the week, what is the job of the committee? What is the committee trying to achieve this week? You following up to make sure you know what they're supposed to be doing. And then at the end of the week, you're following up to say, what have you done? What's the success? What are the lessons? And, replicating that every week is an accountability process that ensures that these board members meet up there to their expectations. So if you don't have these processes in place, it's very clear, it's very sure your board members are always going to fall back to status quo, which is just being distant from the board, supporting as much as they could, and just so. The goal here is really to build the board. Yeah, of course, there's the place where you have to recruit new board members to
Mm-hmm.
join the old board to really support you if you need skill sets to match, your present board. But in all that, right, you have to start with first building your board, working with your board members to identify what skill sets are we lacking, what do we need to make this board work, bringing in those skill sets, those people through board recruitment, now planning with them so that you all can define the future of the organization together, how you intend to execute your programs, your events, your activities, and now building committees that these board members can begin to function from, delegating responsibilities, and you all just begin to execute while you being the central person, you're holding them accountable to say, what's your duty to the organization this week? What have you done? What's the lessons? And when you have board meetings, it is this board committees coming back to report. This is what we've done. This is the support we need to be able to advance. And, it's really that process that ensures success in a board. But of course, you have to build it out. It doesn't just happen.